Parliament this evening. And of course, we've got our opposition parties and our main party as well with us this morning. And we're going to try and get a view from them as to what we can expect today and what they're hoping that the President is going to be delivering in his State of the Nation address. So let me introduce our panelists to you this morning. So first joining us, of course, we've got from the ANC, Stone Sizani. Good to have you, Stone. Welcome to the programme.
Morning, Leah.
Always a pleasure having you. From the DA, we've got John Steenhuisen. John, welcome.
Morning, thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. And of course, from the UDM, we've got Nkabayomzi Kwankwa. Good to have you. Thank you so much for being with us on the programme.
Morning, Leanne, and thank you for having us.
Absolute pleasure. I'm not going to ask you who you're all wearing. I'll worry about that later on. Let's talk about the business at hand here. Stone, President Zuma is basically saying, I mean, he did a walkabout this week. He went to Marabastad and he said, contrary to what is being reported in the media, South Africans are actually happy with his performance. Is this the sentiment within the ANC as well?
Well, Leanne, in a democracy, everybody has got a freedom of speech. And the perception, that's why it's called a democracy, because whatever perception you have about yourself and about the nation in general will be dependent on what you look at the world as and what other people see in you. In my view, the country is struggling. It's got an economy that is struggling to come together and work. And we are focusing all our attentions on making it work for everybody. And I think South Africans are bracing themselves for something that has to say, give us hope on something that will benefit all of us and make us happy and look towards the future with hope.
Yeah. All right, so ANC hoping for a lot of hope out of tonight's address. The DA, what are you hoping for tonight?
Well, 8.3 million South Africans without a job. I think that's a major crisis. 1.9 million of them on President Zuma's watch. We're expecting some bold initiatives around the economy. The country is also teetering on the edge of a major food crisis with the drought that's affected major parts of South Africa. We want to see some bold initiatives. Certainly not a time for timidity. We want to see some bold initiatives, looking at hopefully privatising parts of Eskom and start turning around some of the parastatals. But key, we want to hear about how South Africans are going to get work in South Africa. Too many sitting at home without a job.
Big story there, and I think a lot of people watching on hoping for that as well. The joblessness in South Africa is a big issue. From the UDM's perspective, is that something that you're looking for as well?
Of course, yes, it goes without saying, simply because it's a major concern of the UDM, the fact that many of our people are unemployed. And in particular, as a young person, I think I should highlight it that most young people actually bear the brunt of unemployment in the country. So we want to hear President Zuma talking more about that. But remember, last year he gave us a 9-point plan, right? In areas that government was going to focus on. Our concern is that I think out of the 9, they've only managed to focus on 3 or 4, like trying to sort out the energy crisis in the country. But insofar as making South Africa an investment destination of choice, they have not been able to do that. And we expect to hear President Zuma talking and telling the nation as to how he intends to address that problem and make sure that we attract investment into the country so that we can grow our economy and create more jobs.
Yeah. So it seems that that's the sentiment from everybody. It's the jobs. It's it's a big year for South Africa. I mean, this is an election year as well. I mean, is that something that the president is going to have in mind as well? A lot of promises coming through.
It's not going to be promises, Leah, and I think many South Africans would not be surprised when they hear confirmation of practical steps to be taken, focusing on resolving the majority of the items that are in the 9-point plan, to make sure that everywhere you go in the country, we're investing in making sure the economy is going to be turned around and it's going to be working. Yes, the concern about jobs, we have to make sure that, you see, jobs are not going to be created by EPWP or Community Works Program. It's going to be an economy that's working, an investment in the economy that's working. Hence, government is looking at partnership with the private sector. And there will therefore be, from the State of the Nation, the President saying these are the practical steps we will be taking. All ministers and everybody, even premiers and mayors who will be speaking on any corner of the South Africa will be focusing on what practically are we going to do to resolve the problems. And many South Africans who have been bracing themselves to hear that will be happy to hear that today.
Guys, we're going to have to leave it there for this morning, but thank you so much for giving us your ideas, your views and your hopes for what's going to come out of this State of the Nation address. And I think all of the political parties all expressing those same hopes that there's got to be an issue when it comes to the economy, the joblessness, and certainly the drought that's affecting South Africans. And we're hoping that the President does offer us some solutions when it comes to all of this. Right, the time now is 7:30 on the programme.